Okay, friends, we're going to work really hard today on adding and subtracting fractions still with unlike decimals, okay, or with unlike denominators. I want you to simplify anytime you can simplify, and I want to see your work. And I want to see your work vertically, okay? Some of us are really starting to get this, and that is so awesome, and some of us are really still struggling. And it's okay if you're still struggling, but I need to know where you're struggling at. If you have a question, we need to make sure we're finding our mistakes, okay? We're going to be working vertically. I want to see your work. If you have questions, stop me, okay? You're going to do it by yourself, and then, of course, we'll work through it together, okay? So don't show me your boards until I ask, because I want everyone to get a chance to work through this, okay? So let's try. Okay. We have 1 2/5 plus 2 3/10. Okay, vertically. That means like this. I want you to write it like that. It is not an option. You are going vertically. Find the common denominator. What is the common denominator between 5 and 10? So you don't even need to change 3/10. That one's fine. You'll leave it alone. Okay. How many times do you multiply 5 to get to 10? 2. So 5 becomes 10. What is 4 plus 3?
7.
7. What's the denominator?
10.
Okay, so write 7 10. And then you need to add your whole numbers. Perfect.
You realize I know how to do this, right?
I've heard you don't know how to do it. Okay, so you're going to sit here and I'm going to make sure you know how to. Make sure you're simplifying if you need to simplify.
I know how to add, just this part.
Okay, well, they kind of go hand in hand. So, all right, friends. Let me see your boards. Let's work through it together. All right. So, the first thing I have to do is find my LCD, least common denominator. Okay, well, I'm going to count by 5s first. 5, 10, 15, 20. That should be high enough. 10, 20. Oh, look. 10 is our common denominator. So, I don't even need to change 2 3/10. I can leave that smack dab just like that. But I do need to change 2/5. To get to 10, I multiply 5 by 2. So that makes my denominator 10. That makes my numerator 4. So now I have 1 4/10 plus 2 3/10. 4 plus 3 is 7 over 10. 1 plus 2 is 3. Our answer should be 7 3/10. There's no way to simplify 7/10. So you did not have to do that. What questions do we have? Now is the time to ask. Questions? Going once, going twice? Yeah, that's what I said. Friends, you don't have to type your answer in if I have your board. Okay, well, you can clearly see it. Okay. All right, we're going to do a subtraction problem now with just fractions, and then we'll do one with a mixed number, okay? So let's do seven eighths minus 4/16. 7/8 minus, why don't you put a minus sign? Thank you. 4/16. The first thing, find the common denominator. So this number is going to be what you're subtracting from because it's the number on top. So this number has to be before that number. You cannot write 4/16 and then that one on the side. That would make no sense. Find your common denominator first. That is your first step. Okay. So this one is going to be the one you're taking away from because it's going to be bigger. So find the common denominator and change it over here. Okay. Now subtract. Perfect. Now simplify. Those are both even. This one you can simplify on, friends. All right. First things first is we have to find a common denominator between these two. So Mrs. Kneifel is first going to count by 8, 8, 16, 24. That's far enough. Ooh, 16, 32. Look, 16 is a common denominator. So I don't even need to change 4 16ths, but I do have to change 7 8ths. How many times do we multiply 8 to get to 16? Times 2. So 8 becomes 16 and 7 becomes 14. Now we have 14 minus 4, which is 10 16ths. But I could not stop there because that is not reduced. Both of these numbers are even, so they can always be divided by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. 2 can go into 10 5 times, and 2 can go into 16 8 times. Your answer is 5 eighths. And I see some correct answers on boards. 5 eighths. Our common denominator was 16, which made 14 minus 4, which is 10 over 16. Yes, we have to simplify every time, Ethan. If it can be simplified, simplified. And remember, even numbers can always be simplified by 2. Always, always, always. Always, always, always. Let me think of another good one, okay? Okay. Okay. Both mixed numbers. 8 and 3/4 minus 2 and 1/3. Evan, write it like I wrote it. Find your common denominator first. Well, it's a common denominator between 4 and 3. If you need to, count by and by the sides. Count by 4s, count by 3s. Why are we going to put the 4 first? Is 4 going to be, 4's on the bottom. We're doing a subtraction problem. 4 needs to be on this side. That's what you're going to be taking away from this one. You're putting them in the wrong order, and that's your problem, sir. I don't know why you do the bottom first. It's subtraction. They have to be in a certain order.
Please excuse me for the interruption. If you were planning on taking your class out for recess today, the wind chill is below our cutoff, so you would need to keep them inside. Thank you.
No. I disagree with that number. How many times do you have to multiply 4 to get to 12? 3. 3, 6, 9. So the number is not 12. Thank you. 9 minus 4. Now do your whole numbers. All right, friends. What do we got to do? Find our common denominator. How do we do this? Well, we count 4, 8, 12, 16. Let's count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12. Ooh, 12 is my common denominator. Neither of these have the same, both of them have to get to 12. How many times do we multiply 4 to get to 12? Times 3. So that becomes 8 and 9 twelfths. Minus, how many times do we have to multiply 3 to get to 12? 4 times, which becomes 2 and 4 twelfths. 9 minus 4 is 5. Our denominator is 12. 8 minus 2 is 6. 5 and 12 are not simplifiable, so your answer should be 6 and 5 twelfths. You did not have to simplify that one. 6 and 5 twelfths. Okay? Does anyone have a question on that one? Good. All right. 9 and 15/16 minus 3 and 1/4. Find your common denominator between 16 and 4. Why can't you do that when Mrs. Jones is here?
He overcomplicates it.
Well, you got it right, and that took you like 15 seconds, okay? So you just really got to put it.
He makes it look overcomplicated. That's why I didn't screw it up.
Okay, well, don't overcomplicate it. You did that perfect. All right, friends. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds because it looks like some of us are still working. Oh, cold.
Why don't you turn your heater on?
Because it's far away, and then I have to get up. If you have a question, now is the time to ask. Wait, no, it's not the time to ask. We haven't gone over it yet. Sorry, Mrs. Knife was just talking to talk. All right. So, common denominator between 6 and 4. 16, 32. That's as high as I'm going to count because that's pretty high. 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, look, common denominator. We do not need to change 9 and 15/16. That one's staying the same, but we do need to change 3 and 1/4. How many times do we multiply 4 to get to 16? Times 4. So my denominator is 16, and my numerator is now 4. 15 minus 4 is 11 over 16, and 9 minus 3 is 6. 11 and 16 cannot be simplified. Your answer should be 6 and 11/16. 6 and 11/16, because 15 minus 4 is 11. Our denominator was 16. 9 minus 3 is 6. Yes, it was subtraction, sir. Can you please simplify this fraction? Simplify this fraction, 32 over 46. They are both even numbers. 8 does not go into 46. They are both even numbers. That should give you a good place to start. When we have already simplified while we were doing these problems. What number can be divided into both of these to make it smaller? We literally just simplified 2 problems ago. If the answer, or if it was 3 over 9, 3 can go into 1 time. 3 can go into 9 3 times. To simplify 3 9s, it'd be 1/3. So try with these bigger numbers. The answer, Cadence, you didn't write down the right problem, ma'am. It was 46, not 42. Also, I don't want to see your board yet. It isn't. What did you divide those by?
2.
False. You did not divide those by 2. Try again. Why don't you actually do a division problem? You got a whole whiteboard. You think you divided by those 2. You did not divide correctly. All right. They're both even. If you don't know what can go into both of these, 2 is always a great place to start. So I'm going to divide by 2. 16 or 32 divided in half equals 16. 46 divided by 2 is 23. Pretty sure that's as low as it can go. Your answer should be 16 over 23. 2. That was the good place to start because they were both even, and guess what? That's all you could do. Dividing by 2, you are literally going in half. I'm sorry, Mia, that you were not ready. All you had to do was divide in half. Yes, I can see your answers. Hello. Yes. Bye. Oh, he's in Mrs. Echo's. Gosh dang it. Time out, friends. I gotta call someone. Hello? What the heck?
You want me to go?
Where's her name?
Do you want me to go grab Elijah?
No, I'll just call. I accidentally called myself, though. I need you guys to simplify this number. 55 over 80. What can go into both of these? Look at what they end on. Hello, Mr. Elijah is leaving, so he needs to come back and get all his stuff, then head to the office. Bye. 55 over 80. Look at what they end in. They end in a 5 and a 0. What is divisible by ending in 5 and a 0? And then divide. Five is not even, so you cannot divide by 2 in this one, FYI. 5 is an odd number. Do not divide by 2. That will not work. All right. If you remember any divisibility rules that Mrs. Jones taught you, what's divisible? What can go into something that ends in a 5 and a 0? Well, 5, of course. So I'm going to divide both of these by 5. 55, or 5 goes into 55 11 times. 5 goes into 80. Okay, Jaden, I want you to look at yours. If 80 is bigger than 55, you definitely need a bigger number than 11 for your bottom one. You can literally count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, that's 11. 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. It is 16. Your answer should be 11 over 16. Dun, da, da, da. If we divide by 5, and we can't get any smaller than that. Your answer should be 11 over 16. Elijah, make sure you take all your stuff since you're not going to be here tomorrow either. Okay, bud? Did someone say something? Angelina, what's up?
Never mind.
Okay. All right, let's do one more. We should have time for one more, maybe subtraction problem. Then we'll be out of time. Da, 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 da. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Maybe I did. Okay. Okay. 7 4/8 minus 2 1/24. Find your common denominator between 8 and 24. This is a subtraction problem, our final one of today. Unless you haven't had math, then you're going to do more there, I assume. So 12 minus. Goodbye, Elijah. Bye. No, minus. 12 minus 1. Thank you. All right, let's find our common denominator. Between 8 and 24, I'm going to count by 8. 8, 16, 24. I'm going to count by 24. Oh, look, 24. Magic. So 2 and 1/24 does not need to be changed, but I do, however, have to change 8 and 4/8. I'm going to multiply them both by 3 because that's how many times it takes to get to 24. So then I have 12 over 24. Subtracting 12 minus 1 is 11 over 24. I don't know how many times we found 11 today, but that's okay. And 7 minus 2 is 5. Your answer should be 5 and 11/24. That cannot be simplified. Jameson, you multiplied wrong. 4 times 3 is 12, not 16. All right, looks like a lot of us got it, though. Are there any questions about anything we did today? For the most part, you guys really did a good job. I appreciate your guys' hard work. We will have Math RTI again tomorrow. Thank you guys for participating. This will be posted as always. Bye. You're free to leave me, even though it's 2 minutes early. Goodbye. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu.